Greetings and welcome back to another Switch to Linux supporter stream. Right now, today, it's just me and Dan. So, how's it going, Dan?
Um, it's going okay. I'm doing all right, I guess.
All right. So, I think Mark should jump on here soon. And I'm guessing that Quint got that internship. He was looking at doing an internship. And so I'm thinking that's what happened to him because I haven't heard anything from him. Other than he's answered a couple email questions that I had. But and I think Tech is studying for some certifications for his job. So wish Tech well for that. And when he's done with getting that done, then he will be back joining us as well. And I don't know, maybe it's a good time to put out a call and say, hey, is there a better time for this live stream? We kind of put it here out of convenience for everybody else because I have a 9 o'clock one today too, and that means that my entire Thursday evening is shot. And so we'll see what happens because after this one, I do the other stream and then I encode the other stream and then I upload that one and then I have to work on the weekly news roundup. So my Thursdays are really busy, but I actually have a boatload of client work to do tonight too. So I don't know, it might be a 3 a.m. day for me.
I don't know. This time slot works great for me because I can eat my dinner and then clean up and then hop on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. In the comments, we got Room 2. How's it going there? Anthony McDonald is on. Good evening. Good to see you are double masking. Well, no, I did not put the double mask on the kitty. The kitty has one mask. The margarita has one mask. I know the kitty is off. And now they're already starting to call for a possibility of 3 masks. So who knows what to do at this point in time. Do you see this whole double masking thing? That's exciting.
I haven't heard a double masking thing.
Yeah,
that must be local to you.
No, it was Fauci. It's Fauci and federal government new recommendations. I haven't seen that come down locally yet, but I'm sure it's right behind the turd train of what's coming out of Washington D.C. right now. So, but yeah, that is double masking is now what Fauci is officially recommending. So for everybody who is not part of the presidential family, apparently, because they can walk around on federal property without anything, as long as you're celebrating. As long as you're celebrating, you don't have to wear a mask. I mean, that's seems to be what it is. Moonbase Self Grace, greetings, Linux Math Guy. How's it going? There no triple masking for you yet either. I know, man. Hey, we both survived the super spreader event. I don't know, man.
I already feel like I'm going to go rob a bank. How bad do they want to make it?
Well, that's hilarious because, only about a year ago, if I walk into the bank wearing even a hat and sunglasses, they're like, would you take that stuff off? Now it's like, you're not wearing a mask and a hat and sunglasses to protect your eyes.
Yeah.
What the hell? We're such a weird way. Bill Bergenson, greetings. Chris Pinnacle, how's it going there? Greetings from Greece. Greetings from Greece. Let's see. Bill Bergen got his LG G6. Very good. Pretty good phone. Double mask. That must be a meme. No, guys. This is Anthony Fauci. Look up Anthony Fauci double mask. It's only common sense. If you're wearing one mask, I can't do the Fauci voice. If you're only wearing one mask and it blocks stuff, it makes common sense. You put on another, it's going to block even more. Guys, who's going to block 100%? For all you guys that just want to wear these masks and 100%, just put a bag over your head, tape it shut. You will be completely protected from any exchange of the virus. You'll be protected from touching your face, your mouth, your eyes, anything. You'll be perfectly fine.
To the guy that got the LG phone, enjoy your LG phone because I got a news article yesterday that LG is going to stop making phones.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're not. They say it's not profitable to make them anymore.
Yeah.
They make more money off TVs and stuff like that.
Then that's odd to me because you can jack up. I figure you can jack up the profit margin on a phone way more than you can jack up the profit margin on a TV. But I guess maybe not.
Well, they make kitchen appliances and all kinds of stuff. They're kind of like
yeah,
Samsung.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. You know what? I should move the comments over here so I'm not doing this to look at the comments. See the side profile, guys. All right. So let me move my comment thread over here and it'll just get buried every now and again. But anyway, let's see. What else we got? Masks are for... That's all right. Let's see, Renard. Greetings. Good for you. Jeffrey Wilson signed up for Obamacare again or you will not get the CCP shot. Double masking is valid in Minnesota. Well, hey, sign up for Obamacare again, or you will not get the CCP shot. Nice! I'm not signing up for Obamacare. Perfect. I knew there was a good
Neither am I, but pretty soon I'll be eligible for Medicare.
I asked my pastor last night if he's going to be in line because I guess here in Pennsylvania, clergy are now capable of getting the shot.
And I learned this week, if you need a colonoscopy, it's covered under Obamacare. You do not have to pay for it.
Nice.
Same with all the other testing, like breast testing
I was very pleased to get the letter saying that my insurance plan now covers a mammogram. I was extremely happy about that.
That's the word I was looking for.
Just in case I was planning to come out as a female or something, I can now. It's exciting. All right, if you need
if you grow some big,
why not just stay home?
Some big breasts from the vaccine, now you're covered.
Hi, my name's Bob. Never mind. This is a family-friendly channel. We're getting close to the weeds there. How much is he making? God forbid they did the same with AIDS. Oh, yeah, Anthony Fauci, by the way, is now the #1 paid federal employee in the country. He is getting paid $415,000 for what the hell the guy does. I have no earthly idea.
I have no idea. I have not seen that guy do nothing but flap his lips.
Yeah. No, ER rooms, ERs are up. Breathing problems with double maskings. Yeah, no kidding. I can't breathe. How many masks on? 2. Why don't you take them off?
I got my inside mask stuffed up my nose, and I can't get it out because of my outside mask.
If masks and social distancing work, COVID-19 would be gone already. Agreed. Agreed. All of a sudden, every day this progresses further, I'm looking more and more like a genius. For way back last March, going, I don't think this is a huge deal right now. I don't think this is going to stop it. I don't know. But I guess that's just me. Well, we've gotten to the bottom of the fun comments. We want to talk about the best and the worst technology. This was somebody requested that we do this. And so this is... this was just a kind of an interesting open-ended one. It's like, what is the technology? I mean, it's so far out there. So I just jumped on to Start Page and did a couple little internet searches. What are the best technologies? What are the worst technologies? That's what I came up with. But Dan, what'd you have in mind first?
For the best technologies out there, I think we've come a long way with lighting, especially LED lighting. And this completely, this is brighter than the headlight on my pickup truck.
Yeah.
And some history with LED lighting is back in the 80s, we had LEDs. They went all the way back into the 60s. And most commonly, they were red because red was the cheapest color to make. However, you could get green, orange, and maybe yellow, but you're getting up there in price range. They could not produce blue ones or white ones or straight light ones like that. Yep. They for some reason they couldn't get the silicon dye to go to that color in any way. I'm sure you're going to say, "Oh, but Dan, my car radio's got blue digits and stuff in it." That are not LEDs. That is a gas charged tube that is set up that way. As we got into the 2000s with the curly fry bulbs, which everybody knows they have mercury in them and everything else, and they're bad for you, and you're supposed to take your time and put them in a little carton and send them back to the manufacturer, which nobody does.
I was just shattering them up and,
Right. But the ability for them now to make real bright LED lights that are white lights for lighting purposes is a big achievement, especially over the time. The ability to get beyond the blue range into white light has been a real thing they've been trying to conquer for decades, and they finally pulled it off, and now they're making them so they're even affordable for everybody to get.
I agree with the lighting stuff. Like, actually upgrading my studio lighting to good studio lighting is like one of the cheapest things that I did. I mean, these lights that I'm using right here, I have just a nice little control here. I can go, red, white, and blue colorations on them, and then I can go. I mean, these things get really dim, or I can go, brighter than the center of the sun, and these are like $30 for two of them. It's like a really good price.
This triangle shaped one, I think I paid like $17 and got two of them, but it runs on double A batteries or triple A batteries, and it eats them up pretty fast. LEDs do consume some power because there's a factor of what's called thermal runaway. If you give an LED too much juice, it'll just get brighter and brighter and pull more power until it burns out. You have to regulate them.
Yeah, the good news about them, though, is that they actually do consume less power, though, for other things. Of course, we can't forget the Wally World specials, $1.
Yeah, if you keep the power fixed at a rate with a regulator, they are kind of really power efficient. My cousin was showing me his light. He has them workbench lights that used to be them white things with the fluorescent tubes in them you hang over your workbench. Well, he got one for his, and it's considerably long, but it's an LED one, and it's considerably bright. It's in the cold weather, it starts right up. You don't have to wait for the tubes to come on.
I think I put LED ones down in my kitchen. I know I replaced those, and I can't remember if I went with the cheap, let's go for the cheap, or let's go for the more expensive LED ones. I don't remember, but I thought I put the LED ones in.
But that would probably be one of my better achievements I've seen that everybody can take advantage of. And it's a pretty simple piece of technology, but it's a thing that they conquered over leaps and bounds over the decades that they've been trying to do, because they've always been limited to, red, green, and orange. And that's pretty much the extent they had got out of them.
Yeah, I know. As I was telling you before the show started, my ambient light generator that's giving me the nice blue light in the back. This thing's $50. It is brighter than the center of the sun, I'm pretty much convinced. The entire range from deep to, white saturation, multiple different strobing modes, and it also is a backup phone battery charger. It's like 5,000 milliamps of power in the battery internally.
You can also include probably the lithium ion battery too as part of this thing that everybody enjoys. If you remember, before they came out with those readily available, we had the metal nickel hydride batteries, and they didn't really charge all that great. They had a very short lifespan of maybe a few years, and your DeWalt drill was like, it don't work no more.
I still have one of those. Anytime you need the drill, you need to plug it in for several hours, and then you have like 10 minutes of use, and then it's dead again.
Right.
I need to see if you can, because the drill is perfectly fine. I'm wondering if they have ever made LED the lithium ion batteries to retrofit those drills, because the drill's perfect.
Oh, you know what? They make if you have a DeWalt drill that takes the 18-volt metal nickel hydride battery, they make an adapter now that you stick in the drill that you can use one of their new lithium ion batteries.
I have Black & Decker one, I think.
But DeWalt offers that. The lithium ion battery, we all enjoy them. They're in our phones. They're everywhere. They're in our headphones. That's another great achievement for batteries.
Have batteries in them now. That's just insane.
I got a set here of JBLs, man. They sound great. They're Bluetooth activated. You walk around the house, clean your house with these things on. And I got actually a little Bluetooth transmitter and the adapter to go into my stereo in my living room. So it goes in the headphone jack and goes down to the little tiny thing for the transmitter. And I can throw a record on the turntable and listen to it wireless.
Now, how do those sound as far as is the sound distorted? If I were like those versus, wired headphones listening to a CD, what's the degradation?
It's barely it's not noticeable.
Yeah, I know. I do have
especially with these headphones. They're like high end. They're made for music and audio. They were $200.
Yeah,
and I can the record players in the middle of the house. So it pretty much can get around anywhere on the first floor, without anything chopping in and out. Now, if I plug it into my computer, because it's got the little 3.5 millimeter jack thing, if I plug it into like I have my headphones here in the front of my computer, I can get to about the kitchen at the front of the house, and it starts getting choppy because of the range.
Yeah. I know. I had a funny technology story. I was talking to my friend over here I think he's 20 at this point. And he's like, am I going to have to tell people what CDs were when I'm your age? I'm like, dude, you know what a tape player is? He's legitimately never heard a tape. And so I went out and got the little Walkman and threw some batteries in it and a couple tapes. I'm like, here's listen to the tapes. He's like, how do you get this thing in and out? Like, what is it? But that's, that's funny. So, for all you young guys that think us old guys are, we just don't understand anything. Well, we'll give you a cassette tape player and see if you can figure that out easily. All right.
We'll give you an 8-track and really confuse you.
Yeah.
With a Panasonic Dynamite 8-track player.
So anything else to say before that, or should we jump into our fun articles here?
Well, on the worst side of things, and I noticed this because I live in a pretty compact community around here. There's a lot of people around here. I would say they think car technology is getting better. I say in a lot of cases it's getting worse. With all these computers and stuff that they're putting in these cars. I'm always meeting somebody at the mailbox hut, and there's like 100 mailboxes there. And it's like my car's in the shop. The turbo went out. The car went out. The car's in the shop. The mechanic can't fix it. It's been there 3 times already. And it's like, it's one repair issue after another with all the neighbors. And I think with the computers and stuff like that, they've made them so complex that the dealers can't even fix them.
Yeah, and that's a big problem. I would wager, for me, the worst thing ever is internet connected anything.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? And
you can thank General Motors for starting that out, as far as I know, with their OnStar system.
Yeah, it's like, OnStar. Nah, I'd rather not.
I mean, they started that like back in the early 90s minimum.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into the articles here. Now, I sent them in the Jitsi chat there if you want to follow along, and I think I'm going to cover them in the order that I put them in. So if you want to go along, the first one we're going to is the one from the Independent, so you don't see the delay. 20 technologies that define the first 20 years of the 21st century. We had the iPhone, and I'll agree that the iPhone is was a good, interesting device. Obviously, a lot of technologies have pros and cons, and when you start getting into like an iPhone, there's huge pros, there's huge cons, and so stuff like that is for sure. Social media, they put on the best. I'm sorry, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to put social media on the worst. I think nothing has.
I was thinking about that too.
Media. Yeah, nothing has destroyed our society worse than social media. Everything from bad addictions to echo chambers, and then it got worse. Like social media, though, in and of itself, it really only gets bad when you start having things like algorithms feeding you what the AI wants you to know. Because you end up becoming this narrow echo chamber of yourself, and it got rid of going around and having, conversations with people and, differences in people's conversations and whatnot.
Right. On the iPhone and iPod, on the iPod thing particularly, you can throw the iPhone in that. I give them both a 10 out of 10. Subtract 3 for iTunes. It don't work with Hoot. And subtract number 2, you're built into an ecosystem. So now you're at 5. Okay.
All right. Yeah, and I agree. Like building it into the ecosystem, which is an iPhone specific. We have Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I'm not into these as much as I probably should be. But I think that cryptocurrencies are good. I think that is really something.
I think we kind of missed the train to really profit on those.
Yeah, maybe. It depends.
I mean, back when they came out, the Bitcoin first came out, family and some friends pushed me to invest in it. And I ignored them, like the e-cigarette when it first came out.
That's on one of my lists.
Start smoking this instead of cigarettes, Well, I gave that all up a long time ago, but I feel I missed out on. I should have took the advice and gone with the Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, if you invested in Bitcoin earlier, like, sure, I'll throw $20 in here and get a Bitcoin.
That's the story of my life, though, is I'm always at the end of a good thing rather than the beginning.
Well, just don't buy GameStop stock right now. Not Gary over on Discord says social media was designed for addicts. I agree. I'll agree with that completely. Let's see. YouTube's on the list. I don't know. Is that one of the best technologies? I think that YouTube definitely started that trend of getting out there, and it really started a trend of independent media. It started the trends of alternative forms of work and alternative forms of tutorials and things like that.
Well, didn't YouTube start out with macro media or Flash or something like that? It wasn't part of Google.
Yeah, initially it was. Yeah, I mean, everything back then required Flash players and things like that. That was the only way to get that type of content to actually play, and then eventually they moved away from it. So 3G, 4G, and 5G. Some people will disagree on that 5G part, but the 3G and the 4G for sure. I think most of us can agree that those were overall a pretty good thing as far as spreading information and technology and stuff. I think that was.
Well, that goes with the iPhone because you kind of need at least 3G to actually do anything with it.
Yeah, this is true. I remember back when smartphones first came out, and I'm not even sure my phone even had 3G at that point. The first smartphone I had. They worked okay, but we also have to see that the web evolved at the same time. Things didn't require as much bandwidth to download a single website back then as they do now. And now it's like you try and load up a website, it's like 30,000 gigabytes from all of the stupid, annoying autoplay video ads. And it's like
try and download a game.
Yeah.
That is a challenge because most of them are 50 gigabytes or larger nowadays, and I have to actually start my download for a game before I go to bed and hope I get it all when I wake up.
Yeah. Swing back to cars. Kenny Widron says the only thing OnStar was good at was auto theft. Okay.
Probably true. I would agree with that, probably.
Yep. Flash and FLV stuff.
On theft.
Yeah. Yeah. How's it going there, Linux Life? What's going on? Not too much. Let's see. YouTube was the best while Google did screw up. I guess didn't screw it up. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if YouTube necessarily went downhill at the moment that Google got in. I think YouTube really went uphill when Google first bought it, but then it started to go downhill.
Here's what I think happened. They actually acquired YouTube, and they gave you YouTube creators a handsome amount of money for ads and stuff to put in your thing. And once they got it going, then they pulled the rug out, which was called the YouTube adpocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, which adpocalypse? There were a number of them, and I think I actually survived all of them. I did not actually have a demonetized channel. I did not have a channel that was completely demonetized in all that time. I was actually significantly above the threshold right about the time that happened.
Well, a lot of people say they just simply got less money. They didn't get knocked off completely, but they just got less for their ads.
That I did see that. I'm definitely seeing less than it could be. Gig economy. I don't necessarily.
Let me get my electric guitar. I got to go do a gig.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm neutral on the gig economy. So part of me thinks it's really good to have a gig economy where people can join in with a big company that will filter them money to have their own little side thing. I agree that that's a good thing, but I think that there's a downside of the gig economy that the gig economy does allow a lot of big companies to scrape a lot off the top and redefine the difference between an employee and a contractor, and that actually does hurt some people.
I believe a gig economy strips everybody of possible benefits that they could get from a normal operating company, which means that the company that's running the gig is getting all the benefits and doesn't have to pay employees for health insurance, dental, contribute to 401k plans, or stuff like that. So I think that's the bad side of a gig economy. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely there are some challenges as far as what the person can't set their own rates and things like that.
Yeah.
Most of the things they would probably pass a means test.
Now, if you're in charge of the gig, maybe you're better off.
Yeah, and that's why I'm kind of neutral on them. On one hand, I'm not a huge fan of the gig economy, but on the other hand, I do recognize that it does carry with it some distinct advantages. Streaming, this says list streaming and piracy. Well, I think that piracy is just a result of streaming, so without considering piracy in the mix. As far as streaming, I actually think streaming is a bad tech, not a good tech. What do you think?
Well, considering most of my content that I consume is streamed, I cannot really beat it up that bad. Yeah, you're going to get piracy with streaming, and it's going to be even easier, because you can still get it if you pirate it at real time watching. I think maybe, as far as ripping it, like ripping a DVD in a few minutes and you just took out a 2-hour movie in 15 minutes, that's a slowdown on piracy if you got to do it in real time.
Yeah. Linux Life says there was piracy before streaming. I agree. And my argument for why I'm not a fan of streaming is the proliferation of streaming meant that now we had to have all these different streaming services to have the same exact content that we wanted to have in the past. And they're making less things on consumable media that I can own a physical copy of. And that's a bad thing. If my favorite movie, well, it's on Netflix. Well, just until the studio's like, well, that's now a waif thing. And so did you see this week, Disney Plus, they pulled some of the old classic movies like Dumbo and stuff off of your Disney Plus for kids. Like you can still get it on, if you're an adult, but if your account is marked as a child's account, you can't see that. Why? Because, there's the racist scene. Is that the movie that has the 3 crows in it? Meanwhile, they can push all of this transgender nonsense onto my child, and that's just perfectly normal.
Disney is well known
to
take their premium cartoon movies and pull them and then re-release them as limited edition. They do that to actually stir up buzz for buys.
Yeah.
So if they pull Dumbo off for a while, it'll come back around and they'll want top dollar
they
for it.
Pulled it not from the whole service. They pulled it just from the service that is marked as a child's access account for the purpose that they said, it's racist.
Okay, let's use Cinderella, okay? They'll yank Cinderella off their platform for, let's say, 9 months, and the rest, and then they'll put it back up for 3 months as a limited edition. They do this with rotating them through the stores mostly.
Yeah,
when we had DVDs.
They've actually kind of said they're done doing that with the current setup, but what this is they're specifically pulling out a specific few titles permanently because some content in those.
You can find Dumbo then on eBay at some astronomical price.
Yeah. Joe says, hey, Joe, how's it going, Joe? Joe says they have movies that are more inappropriate than those on the kids channel. Hey, I'll let my kids watch Dumbo before I'll let my kids watch most of what Disney's producing now. It's better. And sure, we might have a somewhat racist scene with the Three Crows if that's the particular scene in that. But most kids aren't going to pick up on any of that anyway. And it's not a long, pervasive issue. And, you know, I watched Dumbo a lot as a kid. It's one of the few movies I watched that wasn't like a Nightmare on Elm Street hack and slash film. And I never picked up racism in that scene. Okay. I didn't watch Dumbo and go, I think I'm going to go join the Patriot Front or something, you know?
On the note of the DVDs and Blu-rays, I have noticed in my area this week they have picked up all the red box machines. There is no longer one in my Myers. There is no longer one in my Kroger's.
That's sad. Can't get the DVDs anymore. If I were like an unethical person, man, I'd be getting some prepaid cards, going out, getting all the Reddits I could, and just rip them all into my system. But nah, I'm more ethical.
The last DVD sales sprint I seen at Myers was Frozen 2. Right before the pandemic, they had the cardboard box and the advertisement, and that's last.
Threw out Frozen, and then everyone's like, I'm done buying stuff. See, guys, this is a problem. Is any more here? Oh, Lord, we have a nice Terminator picture there. Amazon, Skype, robotics. We had 33 obsolete technology that will baffle modern generations. These are fun to look at. Of course, these guys, if you're from the modern generation, are called cassette tapes. And if you do not know the relationship between a cassette tape and a pencil, we're not going to tell you.
Number 11, online gaming. I've been guilty of that lately too.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to that one real quick. Yeah, I'm not a big gamer, so I kind of skipped over that one.
Well, I have a second cousin, and he can't go to college, and he won't pay to go to college to do it online. And he's kind of sunk into this online gaming or any kind of computer gaming. I mean, God, he's got quite a collection, but the time you're spending with me tonight, normally the rest of the week, I'm with him playing World of Warships or Grand Theft Auto or something like that online, just to do something with a family member. That's really all I had to say about that.
All right. Obsolete technologies. Public telephone booths, if you guys have never seen one of these. Now, here in the United States, they're generally blue and white. These ones look like they're probably British. But it was a little thing. You went inside of it, and there was a telephone in there, and you had to put money in there and use it.
Did you switch articles?
Yeah, I did. Switched articles to the 33 obsolete technologies. Rotary telephones and wired landlines. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You want to confuse a youngster.
I do enjoy that scene from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, right? The second one where they lock him in the basement. There's a rotary phone down there. He's trying to figure out how to call his friend. That's a good scene. Here's your old dumb phones. Now, raise your hand. Let us know in the comments if you have seen any of these old model phones. And I actually even had the number 1 phone. I actually had that model of phone. This one does appear to be broken. There should be a little antenna. It's one of the antennas you got to pull it up.
Yeah, I've seen that one, and I've had the rest of them.
Yeah, I've actually had that phone. That was the first cell phone I got. I think I skipped the number 2 generation because mine lasted that long, and then I went into a number 3 generation. And then I think I skipped 4. I had a 5. And then, of course, I had a couple different flip phones and stuff like that. So, Renard says Amazon Echo is one of the worst technologies around. People actually bought them and inadvertently bugged their homes. Yep. Doctor Who teleporters. There you go. Yeah. So does the new Doctor Who series still feature telephone booths or not? I can't say I've ever actually sat down and watched an episode of Doctor Who.
I maybe watched 1 or 2. He's got an old double wide blue phone booth instead of a red one.
Some of them. I also had a Razor. I wanted to look more like Star Trek communicator. There you go. Hand crank party line phones. All right. Pagers and beepers for you younger guys. You had the little thing, somebody could call it and it'd beep, and then you'd had to go and find a phone to call whoever beeped you to find out what they want.
Yeah, this for me was like a work tether. I had to have one to work with a company vehicle.
Oh,
anytime I'm in the middle of doing a repair job, fixing a piece of machinery, my hand's full of gunk, and I'm deep in surgery, and this thing's beep, beep, beep. That means I got to go find a telephone, phone home, and find out what they want to whine about.
Yeah. PDAs. Now this one's a modern PDA. This is like the last generation PDA when they actually had like digital colored screens. Most PDAs did not look like this. They were infinitely crappier than that.
You know what phone they didn't include that isn't kind of an icon of history is the Nextel phone.
The bag phones?
The ones that also worked like a walkie-talkie.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Those were like newer than those, but they didn't include the bag phone, which was older than that one.
I had a bag phone, and at the time, if you lived down south, you could get big money for them because they had far more transmitting power than any other phone. And they wanted them down south in the Smokies and stuff like that because the power would cut through the mountains.
Yeah. Laser discs. Do you remember laser discs?
I've seen them, but I've never got myself to open my wallet for one.
I used to have a full laser disc collection, and I'll tell you, they had way better quality than DVDs. They were just radically inconvenient. You could fit on the better quality ones, you could fit 30 minutes on a side of a DVD or the Laserdisc, then you had to flip it over. And the long play format, you could fit 1 hour on the side. I actually have a DVD that had that same technology. If you were able to find yourself an original copy of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner, that was one of the first print-off DVDs from that company, and it is a double-sided disc. Half of it is on one side of the DVD, and you have to flip the DVD over to watch the other half.
Wow.
All right. DVDs, of course. Floppy disks. Yeah.
Well, they had the DVDs back then where you had widescreen on one side of the DVD, and then you had regular TV 3x4 size on the other.
Yeah, you can still find a lot of those. There's actually a lot more movies that are still being produced like that because some people want the widescreen, some people want the other one. And it's easier to do that than to worry about returns when you got the wrong screen aspect ratio. Oh, fax machines. That's right. Compact cassette tapes. Yeah. And then, did you have, I don't know if that's on here, the mini cassette tapes? Remember those?
Yeah, those are mostly used in pocket recorders for meetings and stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure I still have a pocket recorder.
Unlike the CD, the cassette was not really a real reliable source of getting your music. After a while, the tapes would wear out or your tape player would eat them. I mean, they were great for portable music, but they did have a lifespan.
Yeah. For all you teachers out there, overhead projectors. I actually used these for one or two of my classes. I think I had overhead projections.
Yeah, just to watch a movie and have the teacher use a reel-to-reel projector.
I remember
with a bulb in it. Makes you cringe.
You hear that throughout the whole film. Phone books. Remember these?
You know what? I still have one. My internet company sent me one 3 years ago.
Why?
Because it's DSL, man. It runs telephone too.
All right.
It says Frontier across the top of it.
Oh yeah, the portable DVD players. I always wanted to get one of these, but I never end up doing it.
That's probably because you couldn't think of a place where you'd really need it.
Yeah, that's really the thing. Oh, there it is. There it is. The micro cassette recorder. Yeah.
Yeah, the office machine.
Typewriters. I actually had one of this style. It wasn't this exact style, but it was the old manual mechanical one. I did have one of those.
Man, that thing's a registered antique.
Yeah, it is. How about this one here, the slide projectors? Remember doing these?
Yeah, I remember back when film was still using cameras.
Oh, there you go. Mini disc players, so like CD Walkmans. These sucked, man. You could listen to one tape or like one CD before the batteries would die. They were like horribly expensive. There you go. There's Walkman, Discman, MP3 players. Yeah, the MP3's new. There's a Betamax.
Wow.
Dot Matrix. There's portable game stuff. Nintendo 64. Film cameras, Polaroid cameras. There you go. GPS systems, vinyl records. There you go. What do you want to say about vinyl records?
I love them. I have plenty of them. I enjoy the warmth of their sound. If you have some that don't have any scratches on them, they sound phenomenal. They have a standard from the RMAA Association or something like that, how they drew all this up when they first invented it, about the arm having to be a special length and special geometry and all that stuff. These things don't work out if you want to put them in your automobile, but they're great if you want to use them in your living room.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people get fascinated by them. There is a resurgence that was started about probably 5 years ago, where people are really starting to buy up used ones, and they started pressing brand new ones. But now they're complaining that the price of the brand new ones is just too ridiculously high. I mean, you get above $25 for a Journey greatest hits.
Yeah, it's capitalizing on
LP. Well, yeah, and they sound great for that kind of money, but when you get out of the price range of what people have in their pocket, though, when you get above $25, and the used ones, I used to go to Ann Arbor. They got 4 used record stores there. You could dig around for a whole day. Yeah. And the used records were like $10, $15 and stuff like that. And and you get a record that has its like first pressing with the original record label on it and stuff like that.
Of course, we have the Atari. The only thing I can say about the Atari is under $50.
Yeah, the Atari.
All right, let's move over to MIT Technology Review, the 10 worst technologies of the 21st century. Let's see if they've pinned these ones right. Moonbase Alpha Grays says that vinyl is the best. He has 3 turntables. Let's praise you are that old. Some people don't make it this far. Somebody up there had, I think it was Linux Life, had one of the 6-disc Pioneer changers. I had one of those. The ones with the cartridges. I had those. They were awesome. Love that CD player. We just put it on random 6 discs, play a song.
With a six disc CD player.
Yeah,
I have a Pioneer one. I still use it.
All right, the worst technologies. This is kind of read the bold through the article. There's no easy list. All right, the Segway. What do we think? Is that bad? Bad technology?
You know what? I have yet to see one to even judge it.
All right.
So that must tell you something there. If there's that few around.
Clearly, you've seen the music video for White and Nerdy, right?
Yeah.
All right. So he's got a Segway in White and Nerdy. I mean, you should be able to tell from that. Google Glass. I think most people can agree Google Glass was a pretty good failure, and it's probably coming back, but... less we say about electronic voting, the better, because, we don't want to get banned around here. I'll agree. That's a bad technology. 1 laptop per child. I'm not sure how that's like worst technologies. Some failures apply to technological fix to what is really a social or political problem. Take one laptop per child, set to solve inequality in education with a new gadget, but it was simply too early. Commercial laptops, tablets, above all smartphones, have since inundated the developing world. I don't know. I think that the less technology we can use inside of education, the better, because most of the technology that's being used in education is garbage. That's my thought. Anything else you want to do?
I can't understand how the Segway stands upright all by itself.
It's alien
with no
technology.
kickstand.
It's alien technology.
Yeah, only you would know that.
Yeah. We actually
Laptop for a child. Well, the speak and spell has come a long ways.
Yeah, me no speakers smell good. So
yeah.
CRISPR babies. All right, I'll agree. CRISPR babies is bad. That's all we need. You need like some chimera coming out of your parts. They have data trafficking. Cryptocurrency looks like a way for the handful of speculators to get rich while a lot of other people ended up poor. I'm not... okay. E-cigarettes, addicting a new generation to nicotine. That one's a difficult one to tread, because some people are like, if you're already smoking, an e-cigarette makes a little bit more sense, but if you're not smoking, an e-cigarette makes it really bad. And so that's one of those neutral ones. Like if you move towards the e-cigarette on your way to quit smoking altogether, it's probably a slightly better option. But if you're like, okay, we're going to use the e-cigarettes because it's cool, and frankly, that's what happens with the younger generation right now, yeah, that's kind of a problem.
I smoked for years and years, and I tried all the pills, the patches, and everything else, and nothing seemed to grab. The e-cigarette kind of satisfies all the negative habits of the cigarette.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
and
so
it finally got me off the nicotine, because the price of it was killing me, and the e-cigarette was much more cheaper to operate.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I'd say if you're not smoking anything at all, don't start.
Yeah. Plastic coffee pods. I will put that on my list of some of the worst crap. I mean, not only do we have
plastic
bad quality coffee
pot. Are we talking about those little Keurigs?
Like Keurigs.
I can't get past the expense on one of them things.
I know. They're extraordinarily expensive. They're extraordinarily wasteful, and they don't even make good coffee.
It's like you shot $5 in this machine to get 1 cup of mud.
Yeah. Now you can get the in all fairness to them, you can get the like the coffee filter one. So you basically put your coffee grounds in it, and it will make the coffee through there. That's the only way I could justify one of those machines. But it's like, in all of this, how dare you destroy the environment? We're destroying the environment. Well, why do we keep on coming up with pod crap? Pod coffee, pod ice cream, pod soup, pod vegetable. Like, stop with the pod crap. Like, it would baffle you to see how little waste I generate, because I don't bother with all this packaged crap. And selfie sticks. Okay, I'll agree, selfie sticks are pretty bad.
Selfie sticks.
That's right.
They don't even sound good. I won't go there.
Yeah, Time Magazine, last article, Time Magazine, the 50 worst inventions. They also put Segway at the top of the list.
Again, can't understand how it stands up by itself.
Yeah. New Coke. If you were around in the New Coke era, and you wonder why does every Coke say Coca-Cola Classic? Because New Coke was the scandal of, that was the 90s or 80s, I forget.
Then they changed the formula of Coke, and nobody liked it, and it started a big stink, and they had to pull out the old formula and call it Classic Coke. So you're sitting at the convenience store looking at 2 Cokes, one's classic and one's New Coke. You're like, what's the difference? Until someone explains it to you. But there's a cruel joke that Coca-Cola played on its cola lovers. They cheapened up. The idea was is to cheapen up and take some ingredients out of the Coke. Yeah, that's
Yep.
the bottom line. That's the only reason they would change it.
Yeah. Anthony McDonald asks, what is the device I use for coffee? I use a French press. So basically, the French press is just it's like a glass cup, and you pour the coffee beans in there, you boil the water, and then you pour the water over top of it, you let it sit for 5 minutes, and then you just press down a little wire mesh that separates the coffee beans from the coffee, and you pour it in your cup. It's actually much better flavored coffee as well, rather than the percolated. And works very well. I love it. I got my first French press thinking, well, let's see how this is. Kept the coffee pot for a while. Never used a coffee pot again. It's so good. It's not wasteful. No filters. It's just such a good option. So that's what I do for that. And then the coffee grounds. If you are a composter, you can actually compost your coffee grounds. If you're not, you can, AOC, if you're listening, you can throw it down that noisy thing in your sink, called the garbage disposal. That's fine. Or you can just toss them in the garbage can. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I hear coffee grounds make excellent fertilizer for plants.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And, they give you the worms a coffee high if you're, growing your own worms.
Bionic worms.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, let's see. Clippy, that was the paperclip help agent from Microsoft Office. Agent Orange. Annoying. Agent Orange is kind of a mixed bag, because that actually, it was pretty bad, but it also solved malaria in a lot of places. QCAT, I don't remember QCAT. What's QCAT?
I don't either. It doesn't ring any bells
QCAT.
Or whistles.
Released in the height of the tech boom in the late 1990s, QCAT was massively expensive failure. Millions of the cat-shaped barcode scanners were produced and shipped for free across the United States in hopes that people would use them to scan specially marked codes to visit internet sites. Wow, that sounds like a horrible piece of garbage. Uh-oh, I think I just dropped my... I think I accidentally closed my article there, and I wasn't supposed to do that. Recently closed tabs. See, the problem is, okay, did it... That's the problem that I had. It's like, okay, I tried to go to that, and it... let's see if I can do... All right, I'm going to have to just grab it from the Jitsi call here. Pardon me. Copy link.
They have a pile of stuff here. I never heard of the Ford Pinto. I used to have so many of the. Yeah, that was one of my first cars, was a Ford Pinto, because you could find them around here in any field or sitting by any house and get it for nothing or next to nothing. Before you know it, I had like 5 of them, and I could make a couple good ones.
Well, Ford Pinto, boom. That's right.
And back then news didn't move very fast, so I never heard about them blowing up and catching on fire.
Baby cage? I can only imagine. Oh, yeah. That's 1930s London nannies lacking space for the young ones resorted to the baby cage. A creepy wire contraption patented in the U.S. in 1922 lets you claim that space outside your city window for your infant. Oh, Lord. What?
Wow.
Wowzers. Crocs. Foursquare. Pop-up ads. The electric face mask. When was this article written? I'm wondering if they're changing their tunes about the electric face mask. They may be saying now it's the best thing ever.
Now they want you to wear 2 of them.
Yeah. 2 electric face masks. Pay toilets. Pay toilets was a bad one. It's like, I really got to go. Well, you don't got a quarter, you ain't going nowhere. I remember the zoo in Erie used to have the pay toilets. They're just like, yeah, man. Oh, wrong button. You gotta, can't go. Oh boy. Well, hey, that took us just about the time. That was a fun little list to get through.
Yeah, they left out the pet rock and the mood ring.
They did. Yeah, I remember those. The Pet Rock and the Mood Ring. They were both excellent devices. I gotta say, huge fan of all of them. All right, let's go double check, make sure I didn't lose out on any of the comments. I've been scanning most of them. Let's see. Let's go down here. QCAT. Anthony McDonald had a QCAT. Nice. Keurigs are like the George Foreman grill, a real pain in the butt to clean. Happy local pawn shop got stuck with some.
Oh, you know what? On the George Foreman grill, unplug it until it cools down just a little bit. Then take a soaking washcloth while it's still kind of a little hot, and the steam from the water and the cloth will pretty much clean it up.
Yeah, that's how I clean mine. I had, it wasn't the official George Foreman, but I did have one of those, and and it lasted a good number of years. But I pretty much got rid of all that crap because I cut down to like almost nothing. Like I didn't like. I think the only quote unquote appliances I still have, I have a blender, I have a mixer, I have a crock pot. I did keep my splurge item. I did keep a cappuccino machine that I don't use very frequently, but those odd days I want a cappuccino, I like to know I have the cappuccino machine. Coke 2 DDT, there you go. Let's see, here you go. How about the modems and X modems and Y modems and Z modems? There you go. Commodore does not mind drip coffee. I don't mind drip coffee. It's just not nearly as good as a French press. Coffee occasionally looking for a better solution. Yeah, the thing about the French press, it doesn't take any power. If you're just the occasional coffee drinker, a French press is probably even better than having a big thing. Especially mine, I actually have a small one. You can get them in a couple different sizes, and I've actually seen really small ones, like full, like 8 to 12 ounce ones. Mine now's more than that. I think mine might be, it's not a liter. My old one was a liter. I think it's maybe half a liter is the one I have, because I just make two cups with my Switch to Linux cup. That does me for a day. Imagine changing a recipe for profit. French presses make excellent pancakes. How do you make a pancake out of a French press? Commodore 64 fan does not have time for a French press. It doesn't take any more time than a coffee pot. It just takes less space. Like French press, but pour over is better. All right. Hey, we got a super chat. Thanks for the super chat. Who's that? Linux Life. Good stuff. Stay with Linux and the videos. I will. I have been fighting with... I end up buying a software package for my... publishing group. It turns out it's I thought it might be like a web-based system. It's not. It like Windows or Mac. I've been fighting with Wine for the last couple days, and just this afternoon I finally got to work with Wine. So maybe I'll talk about my issues with that, and I'll cross-post it to two different related channels. Danny, you still there? Just videos off?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, your videos off. Just double checking. All right, you can keep it off if you want. I don't care. Just curious. Twitchy earthworm, mutated into earthworm gem. That's right. Try that hair in a can. Oh, you're gonna try that hair? Like if you
hair in a can.
So I posted a video on the YouTube videos section in the Discord server today, and it was excellent video on ad profiles and stuff from Level 1 Techs, and they were cutting into some of the old products that were being marketed. One of them was the hair in a can, right? Oh, you got bald spots, use this. It's basically like spray paint. You spray on your head. I assume that's what you're talking about. Wait, coffee machines can be cleaned? Yeah, you clean a coffee machine by mixing in water with a little bit of vinegar, and the vinegar will decalcify the coffee machine. That's how you clean them out.
Mine's beyond that.
What's that?
Mine's beyond that. Mine's been tortured by well water too long.
Yeah. I actually just use, I use purified water. So like I've actually been using the same electric kettle for I think 3-4 years now. Whenever I bought the French press, I think I'm going on 4 years now. I'm pretty sure I bought it in 2016, and I have never cleaned it and had a problem with it because I only use purified water in the in that. So if you have that as an option, either filtered or purified water for making coffee, your coffee pots will last a lot better, a lot longer.
I'm going to treat my coffee pot like I've treated every previous gas grill I've had. Use it until it's rusted out and then throw it in the trash and go buy a new $100 one. Or in this case, for a grill, the coffee pot, $20.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you spend $100 on a coffee pot, that better be a good coffee pot.
No, just about everywhere you could get a bare bottoms, plain old gas grill for $100 to $120. And I got tired of buying the $500 and $700 Webers because they just rust out no matter what you did to them. And I just would use the cheap grill and I'd never clean it. Go through a season with it. When the burner started getting a little flaky, keep the bottle, take it out to the road, let the trash man pick it up, buy a new one in the spring. Better yet, at the end of summer when they're all on sale.
Yeah, that's a good time. Just get another one get another one for storage for when yours finally dies out when they're cheap. Thanks again for the
this cruising art coffee pot I bought that one 8 years ago. The inside of it's full of white calcium and rust and everything else where you dump the water. It refuses to die.
Yeah. Klaus Martini, Publisher Rocket is the name of the software I got. So it's like super highly recommended for keyword analysis and category analysis. I just like using it for 1 hour. After I got it running, I'm like, I'm not sure if this is a fluke, so I'm going to do what I want to do with it really quick now for one of my books. I went through and analyzed, you can put up to 7 keywords and up to like 10 categories, biset categories into a book. And I analyze those. I'm like, man, if I just alter these keywords, that this might actually fix a lot of the issue I'm working with. And there's an AMS keyword analyzer too I haven't looked into, but that particular software suite's really good. And actually I've been communicating with them. I've been emailing them back and forth today, and they actually did say that they are looking for, let's see, what did he tell me? He says, let's see. They were actually really good. I told them what I was trying to do, trying to get it to run, because I had issues getting it to run first. So I spun up a virtual machine that I could just do whatever without messing up a live system. So I emailed them, told them that. They said, yeah, we added another device to the license key, so I won't run into issues with that. So they're cool with me playing around with it on Linux. And he's like, yeah, there's some people have this support compatibility program called Wine or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I know what that is. So he said here, we're working hard to create a version that will work on Linux, hopefully sometime this year. But they've run into a few bumps. So I emailed them back. And I'm like, we actually have a community of people that can probably help you do that. I'm imagining that the Switch to Linux community can probably help get somebody to convert a Windows application to a Linux application. I'm sure somebody can help with that. And it's a good American company. They're out in the West. And so that's kind of cool. So I'll be looking forward to hearing from them again and looking forward to getting that running. But yeah, I'll see if I can get that guy running again. See if it wasn't just a fluke of accidental things. I'm close to 65 and not had a coffee since about 16. I'm sorry for you, man. That's so sad. Coffee, 1 pan, water, all you need. There you go. Yeah.
Your program won't run in a VM?
Probably, but I don't really want to run a VM.
Oh, VMs are great. I love them.
Yeah, I just like, because that's going to mean having a Windows VM spinning aside, and that means I have to run that particular system on a higher end computer, and it's like I don't want to do that. So if I can get it spun up with on Play on Linux, is specifically what I do for containerization. But I was able to get it to work. I was not able to get it to work with Play on Linux. I was able to get it work by getting the staging version of Wine in there and just running good old-fashioned Wine. So that's what I might end up having to do. I'm going to try Pop OS. Been using Windows 30 years now. Just started getting pretty good with a Mac. Had some hard time with Mandrake Linux and Ubuntu years ago. Yeah, Pop OS is really good. I think you should like that one. Adobe Flash. People are still using it. Yeah, there's like, I think I saw something like somebody just forked a browser to keep Flash on it. Like, why? It was like the most insecure program then when it was being used. I did get my program working. The version of Linux I got it working with was 20.1. Flash died last week. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a funeral for it.
About time.
Everything has end of life built in.
Yep. All right, we've hit the bottom of the comments. We're 8:07, so I think we'll probably wrap up here. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will be back with the weekly news roundup tomorrow. And I will be streaming on my other channel here tonight. So let me go ahead and I'll just post the channel name. Actually, I think I can come over here and just grab the actual. I think I can grab the actual stream link. We're going to be doing Hebrews chapter 6, verses 1 through 8, I think. So if you guys are interested in the Christian type stuff, you can head on over to my live stream over there in about 1 hour. We'll be over on that channel. And with that, folks, we will see you guys tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the weekly news roundup, and we will get a chance to see how crazy our world is going from here. All right. Well,
it should be explosive.
And it should be explosive. That's right. Well, see you later, Dan.